Hi, this is Abhinav, and in this video I would be talking about how life comes from nothing. See, we look around ourselves, and being alive is a gift of nature to us. We're breathing, we're feeling everything around us, we see objects, we identify them, and we distinguish between different things. What makes us capable of doing that? Maybe some biochemical activity going on inside my brain that then transfers through the long neuronal chains and then goes on to stimulate my muscles or some other sensory organs. Don't you think it is a bit really kind of over the top statement? Not a very deep one? Well, you must have always experienced different feelings in your life. You might have experienced sadness, you might have experienced being very happy sometimes, and you may have also experienced lonely and depressed. So why is this mood changing? Is it only the hormones, the imbalance in them, or is there something really deep? I will start with the example of an ant. You see, an ant, it has certain duties to do. It has to collect its food, it has to stay in its group, it has to build a home, and it has to survive. Survival is the biggest goal of all the living species. Do you agree with me? We all want to live. We don't want to die. All little organisms, even an amoeba wants to live. And why is it so? You see the clock behind me? It doesn't want to live. I can just take out the cells and just close it. It is running because of those cells, because of those electrical currents going inside its circuits and generating a mechanical motion that moves its long handles. But what distinguishes me with the clock? What is that line, that silver line, on which side there is something that lives and breathes and tries to survive, and on the other side something that cannot even comprehend itself? That's a big question, and we all are searching for that, aren't we? I have to diverge towards a different topic here, and I'm going to talk about a little bit about quantum mechanics. So quantum mechanics is a recently developed science field that was developed in the early 1900s, not too long back ago. And what does it say about everything around us? Everything around us is random. It's the big mammoth statement it gives. Everything around us is random and decided on the spot. How? Are my thoughts random? Or my decisions random? Maybe you think something right now. Maybe you are thinking I would go on and listen to this guy and continue with this video. Or maybe you decide to just go off. Just go away. It's your decision, but it may be random. So everything is random in the universe as per quantum mechanics. Why is it so? How did this came to be? Well, we all are made of what? Atoms. Little minute particles that create everything around us. Everything. The clock behind me, the curtain behind me, my body, my cells, these earphones, the mobile phone in which I am recording, all are made of atoms. What are these atoms made of? These atoms are made of a nucleus and electrons that revolve around it. As we know, the classical picture of the atom, there is a center where there is the nucleus, which is composed of protons and neutrons. If it is not a hydrogen atom, far away there is a cloud of probabilities where we can find an electron. So this is our atom, and this makes everything around us. So how can atom and randomness be one and the same thing? Well, in quantum mechanics, the electrons can be in certain orbitals only and not everywhere. Like, for example, they have these different radius at which they can exist, and in between there is no meaning of existence. Mechanics says that electrons can be in certain orbits only. There are specific orbitals where they can be found, and there is no in between for them. For example, take a model. Okay, the model has a center where we have a sphere, and around that model there are orbiting spheres which are smaller in size. But these orbiting spheres can only exist at certain radius. For example, at 1 meter of radius there is one sphere, then at 2 meters of radius there is another sphere, and going on. So these integral multiples are the only possibilities for the orbits of the little spheres. The same is with the electrons. They can only exist in certain orbitals which are also probabilistic in nature. For example, you have an orbital in which you want to find an electron, then you don't have the entire picture of where the electron is and how fast it is moving. It is everywhere. It is only upon observation that the electrons appear. For observation we need an observer and an experiment. So when nobody is observing, these electrons exist in multiple states around the nucleus in their own orbital, and therefore it's a hazy picture. So from here we get a suggestion from nature that electrons don't have a shape, because how can something have shape when it is everywhere? It is a wave. There was this scientist who goes by the name of de Broglie. He was a French physicist, and he said that all matter can be thought of as waves, and all the matter has an inherent wavelength. This inherent wavelength is given by the de Broglie wavelength, which is equal to the Planck's constant divided by the momentum of that object for which we are trying to describe its wave properties. So for an electron, the momentum is enough to make the ratio around 10 to the power minus 10 meters or 12 meters, and therefore an electron or a subatomic particle, because of its small size and small mass and high velocity, if it is accelerating, It has a very large wavelength. It's not that large, but it's large compared to much larger organisms like us and other materials that have a wavelength which can go up to 10 to the power minus 34 meters. Now, it is a very confined wavelength. That means it's not spread out. Therefore, large objects don't tend to behave like waves, like me, like everything around me that I can see with my eyes. But little particles are able to do that because of their small size. Now, these particles are also waves, and these waves are also particles. It is quite ironical, don't you think so? The same question came into the mind of those people who thought light was a wave, and there were a set of people who said light was a particle, a bunch of corpuscles that emerge out from a radiating source, like Newton thought, and finally Einstein proved it using his photoelectric effect concept that he gave in 1900s. I don't remember the date exactly, but he gave it around 1905 or 6 maybe. Now, light behaves like a wave when it's diffracting and refracting, and it behaves like a particle when it is interacting with material, like for example when it is bombarding on a metal plate or on a solar panel, or during a natural process like photosynthesis, or when it comes into my eyes and I am able to see everything around me and find its spatial structure, and my brain can then interpret it to form an image. Now, for all this to happen, for a wave to behave like a particle, there needs to be an observer. Observer importance is very fundamental in quantum physics, because without an observer, the wave packets cannot be made to become confined. They are always spread out. Therefore, in quantum mechanics, everything is based on probabilities. Probabilities means the lack of knowledge. If I want to, give it a definition for people to understand, why do we assign probabilities to something? Because we don't know about it entirely. We don't know its features, or maybe we don't know its position, its velocity, its momentum, its angular momentum, its spin state. So we give a probability to that state. Now, probabilities give us a clue, not the entire picture about how a substance could work in future. And therefore, quantum mechanics is probabilistic in nature, because an electron is always present in the orbital in a hazy state. It can be anywhere. It is only upon observation, when the light falls upon it, or when we see it using an experiment, then the electron appears at that position, because it is the way nature has designed everything, that observer and observation becomes the fundamental force that decides how the fields will behave. Now, the quantum mechanics was developed further on into much higher fields of knowledge, eventually getting to quantum field theory, which states that all the subatomic particles are made of fields. So an electron is a vibration in the electron field. A photon is a vibration in the electromagnetic field. Higgs boson is a particle manifestation of the Higgs field. Now, these are fields that are spread in the entirety of space and time. Even in the expanding universe, they are spreading simultaneously. Now, these fields have vibrations in them that then create particles. So this is the fundamental concept of quantum field theory, which predicts the standard model which is quite successful because it is able to predict quarks, gluons, bosons, other forces of nature and how they interact with each other, and it's quite a successful model. Now, quantum field theory gives us the picture that the entire universe is made of fields. But then why do we appear in a confined state? It is because the fields allows intelligent observers to exist. Now, what I mean by an intelligent observer, it can be a cell even. A cell is very intelligent organism that knows the thermostatic states around it, that knows how it has to reach equilibrium, where it can find food, how it can change its cellular membrane to be more permeable to more substances, more ions, and to not or be less permeable to toxins. In immunology, we have a concept of receptors where if something wrong is happening in a cell, like a viral infection is going on, the virus is replicating inside the cell has the capability to recognize it as an invader and pull out some of its parts and display it on its lipid membranes, so that the immune cells can say, yes, this cell is infected. How can a cell know what's going on inside it and then then justify it and signal the immune system to act? It's the same like us. We get sick, we have fever, and then our brain decides, or our consciousness decide to tell the doctor or our parents or family, friends, everyone that I'm sick, I need help. The same way the cells are doing that. That means there's some entity that is making them conscious of themselves. That entity is not defined in the quantum field theory. And it is my observation and my belief there is one more field that drives everything, and that is massless, that is fundamental, that is holistic, and that is quite dynamic. It is an inspired thought from Federico Fagin's concept of qualia, and I have a different interpretation of it, where this conscious field, it creates space and time for it to experience the same space and time using intelligent observers that are made fundamentally from the conscious field. It's a feedback loop. It's like I created an entity, so I wanted it to have experience, so I gave it certain tools, I gave it sense organs, I gave it different cellular parts that have variety of cells, I gave it DNA that can replicate so that it can reproduce and make more conscious beings, and then I gave him the planet or maybe the solar system to observe and interpret so that it can try to understand itself. The same concept is used in Advaita Vedanta, where it is something within us that is in everything around us that drives people. Now, why are we able to comprehend the universe much better than something else, like maybe a bacteria or a virus or other species of organisms that have existed or are existing on this planet? It is because our range of thinking and the way we can interpret things is higher than these organisms, because we have a much changing and dynamic cellular structure. We have different cells doing different work, but then also communicating with each other. You don't think that the neurons in our brains don't contact or are not in touch with the hepatic cells in the liver, or maybe the nephrons in our kidneys. Everything is connected because the fundamental conscious field is present in each and every atom only after combining together to form molecules that are complex and that can undergo chains of cycles where they can create a chemical process, and that too is conscious, I must tell you, but it doesn't have the architecture to do a lot of stuff. But when it comes in the form of quite organized object like a cell or a paramecium or anything, it can decide for itself to certain extent. But when these multiple cells combine together to form multicellular organisms, the range of decision making starts to increase. Therefore, we as humans have this capability to make starships, to make these big space stations in the orbit, because we ourselves work together, and we work together with other people and create teams to develop and understand the universe much better. But we are not understanding the universe, it is the conscious field that is asking us to do it. Now the simulation theory comes into this, that says that we are in a simulation. Like for example, we developed this tool which we call the artificial intelligence, and these machines that can make data more quickly, that can generate text and do calculations for us and do a lot of other things, to coding for us. We created it, but it doesn't know at a subjective level that we created it, and it knows not that we created it. Maybe it just blurts out this text that, oh, my master is human, but it doesn't have an experience of it. Maybe when we all will die, it will start to find us, try to know why we created it. The same we are doing with the universe, because the conscious field is not visible to us, it is not comprehensible to us, but it's something that sits in us, that drives us. I am not speaking to you, I am speaking through the conscious field to your conscious field, which is one and the same. All this may sound weird because it doesn't have a mathematical footing to it, because science progresses on theoretical foundation that needs to have certain mathematical proof and an experimental proof. But this is something that I personally feel, and I think after reading a lot of things, maybe a lot of other people also think this way. You guys might tell me in the comments, what do you think about this concept? But I think that quantum fields are the codes of the conscious field to create conscious beings, to experience itself. Now, why is this field doing so? What its main purpose? I don't know. It's quite hard to describe these hypothetical situations, but maybe we can feel much closer to the universe if we think that the universe sits within us. Thank you for listening to me and this lecture, and I hope you learned something out of it. And I would tell you that life is a long journey, but not a very long one.